Hey, Maddie, you and I have seriously got to talk. This is just getting ridiculous at this point. Do you know that? You've seriously got some nerve sticking around this long. So let's just get right to business. When are you finally going to leave my brother and never bother my family with your presence again? You know that even Randy is starting to get sick of you, right? I still can't believe that he ended up marrying an old hag like you, though, honestly. What was he thinking doing that? He must have really pitied you when he did that. But it's high time that you free my brother from your little trap and just let him live his life. You have got to go, if not for your own sake, then for Randy's. You know, Amy, if you were really serious about this all being for Randy's sake, then I don't think that you would be telling me to do this. He's your brother. If you really think that he's not happy with me, then go and tell him that yourself and see what happens. But I am going to tell you now that I have no intention at all of leaving your brother. Do you understand me? And just when are you going to give up all of this nonsense anyway? You've been trying to split us up ever since we got married, and it still hasn't worked. I think if anyone needs to wake up from their little fantasy, it's you. Because Randy and I love each other, and we don't want to divorce. Got it? No, I'll never let you win. You won't get away with this. I'll never let you get away with being married to my brother. You may think you've won, but I have my ways. And besides, ever since Randy got married to you, all he ever does now is work, work, work. He's so boring now. He's not the brother that I used to have. And I just know that this is all your fault. If he wasn't married to you, then I would still have the older brother that I know and love and not the automaton that I have now. Or maybe you just don't realize that your brother has found a job that he's really, really passionate about, and that's why he's been working so hard. And I, for one, think it's great. Sure, I'm not happy that I get to see less of him now, but if it's because he's doing something he really wants to, then who am I to stop him? Oh, please. Let's just cut all the bull. You and I both know that none of this is even true in the slightest. I know the truth, and I'm not going to be fooled by your lies. Do you hear me? Fooled by my lies? Literally, what are you talking about? What part of any of what I have just said is a lie? You have no idea what you're talking about at all. You and I both know that that is just not true. The fact of the matter is that you're a little shut-in who wants to turn my brother into your slave so that you never have to work a day in your life. You're having him work all around the clock so that he can pay for every little thing that you don't want to. The house, utilities, gifts, you're just using him. And that's why he's been working so hard and has been so busy this whole time. Amy, if that's really what you think, then I have to say there must be some kind of misunderstanding between the two of us. For one, I'm not a shut-in who wants your brother to work so that I never have to leave the house or anything like that. After all, I have a job and I work full-time. We've already talked about this, in fact. Oh, yeah, I know you've told me all about your fake little job. You even got Randy to tell me about it so that you could try and convince me that it was actually real and not something you were just making up. But I also know that you just spend all your time and you barely ever leave the house, so don't deny it. You stay locked up in your room playing all your little silly games. Do you really think that's what you can call a job? I don't play, nor do I even really like video games at all. And if you really want to know, I stay in the room in our house that we've converted into my office since I work from home. So I don't have to go out and go to some office building in town or anything. I'm basically able to do all of my work from home, and that's exactly what I do. You really need to come up with a better lie if you want people to believe a word that you're saying, you old bat. There's no way that you could just do a job from your house. That doesn't even make sense. Honestly, do you really think that people are going to fall for this? It's so obvious that you're lying. It isn't even funny. You're not fooling anyone at all. Do you know that? But I'm not lying. And of course you can work from home. We have the internet. You can literally work from anywhere in the world with some jobs nowadays. Why do you even think this is a lie? Have you been living under a rock or something? It's not like this is even new or novel at this point. Okay, so what? Maybe there are some people who can work from home, but everyone knows that if you're working from home, that it's probably because your job is a crappy one. And I'm sure that what you do for a living doesn't even come close to the kind of work that my lovely fiancé does. He works at one of the top companies in the country at a really high level. Hold on a second, Amy. I didn't know that you were engaged. When did all of this happen? Congrats on that, I guess. You think that I would ever want to tell you about what's going on in my personal life? You don't deserve to know. But yes, since I've already brought it up, I am going to be getting married. And unlike you, I didn't have to lower myself to try and desperately search out for a younger man or anything like that. My fiancé just graduated from his program this year and already has an offer at a really great company. He's going to be starting at the job and marrying me all in the same year. So what do you think about that, huh? I see. Well, I really had no idea about any of this, but your fiancé has just graduated from a program and he's already found a good job? Well, that's good and all, but I guess if all of that is true, then he must be a pretty young guy, right? In fact, you're quite young yourself, Amy. Are you sure that you're ready to marry someone? Excuse me? And just who do you think you are to say something like that to me, huh? But then again, I bet looking from your perspective, you would think it's fast. After all, you and my brother took your precious time dating and getting to know each other and all that lame stuff. So you would think that it's too early, but these days it's normal. Oh, I see. Well, I guess I didn't realize what the trends were with young people these days. I thought taking your time to get married was still pretty normal. You really are way behind the times. Besides, I don't appreciate you trying to tear down my marriage just to make you feel better about getting married at such an advanced age. I'm not going to fall for that kind of thing and end up old and shriveled like you. I'm going to get married right away and have kids. Then, when I do have kids, I'm going to quit my job and live the life I want while my successful husband takes care of me. Right. Well, if that's what you want to do with your life, then I really don't have any issue with that at all. But it feels like you were just accusing me of doing the same thing with your brother. Either way, I didn't know that you wanted to be a housewife, but even so, if your fiancé is just going to be starting at his company, it might be too early to decide to stop working, don't you think? You really just have no idea how anything works these days at all, do you? You're basically like a dinosaur at this point. Do you get that? But I'll let you know that my fiancé is going to make more than enough money to take care of us both. So you don't have anything to worry about one bit. We're going to graduate, then have kids, then I'm going to settle down into the home and get to do whatever I want. My future is as good as given at this point. Well, I really do hope that things end up well for you and your fiancé. I truly mean that. Although I guess if it were me, I would want to try working for a bit and making my own way through life. But again, everyone has different priorities and dreams, so what works for one person might not work for another, right? Yeah, that's what a loser like you would say. But I bet you wouldn't be saying that if you had a sweet deal as mine waiting for you after school. You're a no-good loser who actually had to work for a living. And unlike you, I'm still young, so it's only natural for me to want to marry someone my age. I don't have to go around hunting like some nasty old cougar looking for a younger man. Honestly, I think women like you who go after younger men are just sick. What is the matter with you? Why can't you just stick to your own dating pool? Right, well, you are more than free to say whatever it is you think about me, but I should let you know that I really wasn't out looking for younger men. The fact of the matter is that it just so happened to be that your brother was younger than me and that we fell in love. I'm sure that's what you tell yourself all the time to justify the horrible way that you've taken advantage of Randy. That's just like an old person to come up with all kinds of justifications for their actions like that. But you should have never, ever been hunting for younger people from the start. I thought that old people were supposed to at least be more wise than younger ones. I mean, I really don't know what else there even is to say on the matter at this point. Yeah, that's right. You don't have anything more to say because you know that I'm right. And that's why you should just give it up and divorce my brother already. I'm going to keep telling you to do so until you finally just throw it in and do it. Well, if your brother says that he doesn't want to be with me anymore, then that's a conversation that we'll have between each other. But I really can't see him doing that at all, so I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I doubt you'd even listen to my brother if he did tell you that he wanted to break up with you and get a divorce. You'd probably try some sneaky trick to force him to stay with you because that's just the kind of person that you are. I really wish that you would stop trying to paint me in such an awful light. I just worry that one day you're going to say something and it'll have a real consequence for you.
Maddie, are you there? I'm really sorry to be messaging you outside of work hours, but there was something really important that I forgot to tell you before I left the office today.
Oh, hey there, Josh. That's no problem at all. I'm still up. What did you forget to tell me at work today?
Well, the thing is that I think we might be having a problem with one of our new hires. Actually, and anyways, we've prepared some documents that I think you should look over concerning him. I just wanted to let you know that at the end of the day so that we could talk about it in person the next time we see each other.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad that you remembered that. I'll keep that in the back of my mind.
Well, anyways, I was just hoping you'd be able to come into the office and handle this as well. I know that you're working from home, but I think that this kind of thing, you should really be there in person, you know? I think that it would send a strong message to the rest of the office, as well as the other new hires. Because the fact is that we're already thinking about firing this guy.
Oh, I see. Well, if it really is that serious, then yes, I could go into the office and see what all of this is about. But do you mind if I ask what exactly is going on with this new hire of ours?
Well, even though he just started here, he's already slacking off on a lot of his work. Not only that, but when he's not doing his work, it's usually because he's harassing a bunch of different women around the office. And even when we had some visiting students who we were showing around, he was even saying some pretty inappropriate things to them as well.
Oh, well, I see why you would want me to come to the office and handle this then. That kind of behavior is just not acceptable.
And not only that, but he's been really sloppy with our privacy policies and has ended up publishing personal information of staff and even some clients on different platforms. We've been working really hard to try and scrub all of this from the internet, but he's just really not caring at all where he airs out his laundry.
Well, he's already in violation of his contract, but if he keeps this up, then he's going to open himself up to a lawsuit for breach of privacy. Especially if he happens to be leaking any kind of private information of the companies. You did have him sign the privacy contracts when you hired this guy, right?
Yeah, he signed everything and went through the same onboarding process as everyone else, so I have no idea where this guy is getting off. But I don't think that he's published any confidential documents yet anyways. But we are monitoring the situation really closely.
Well, I'm just glad that we have the ability to do that in this day and age. But honestly, what is this guy thinking? But as long as he hasn't caused any real damage to the company yet, I suppose we can at least be happy about that. Although I do want to try and nip this kind of behavior in the bud as soon as possible.
Yeah, of course, we really do need to start moving on this guy soon now that we've gathered all our evidence and gotten all our documents in order. Although there's one more reason why I wanted to mention this to you earlier today. It seems that this guy actually has a connection to you, if you can believe it. Apparently, he's engaged to marry your sister-in-law, according to our research that we've done into him.
Wait a second, you mean to tell me that this guy who is causing all of this trouble for us is also my sister-in-law's fiance?
It is what our records are indicating, but I guess there might be some kind of mistake. Although we've been really careful with this case, and we're basically pretty certain about this.
Wow. Well, I see. Well, this is really unexpected. I really would have never guessed that Amy was getting herself involved with a guy like this.
I think that he might be acting this way because he might know about who you are and is thinking that he can coast by through his connections to you. And of course, we don't want the company thinking that we engage in that kind of nepotism here.
Well, it seems to me like we really have our work cut out for this one. But I just have no idea what my sister-in-law is thinking getting with a guy who acts like this. But okay, understood. We'll work on this and handle this guy. Thanks for telling me about all of this. Is there anything else that I should know about?
Well, it's a pretty separate matter, but it's about the CEO ball that's going to be happening. Some of the other attendees are wondering if you're going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Let me just double-check my schedule and move some things around if I have to. Would you mind sending me all the details later?
Got it. I'll let the organizers know that you're going to be there. But I'm just curious. A lot of those company presidents and all are really quite old. Do you find that you're able to connect with them on a personal level?
I mean, I can talk to them, and they're really full of good advice on how to run a business since they've got so much experience. So I don't really think that I'd be losing anything by going there. Anything else you need to know?
I don't think so. All right then. I'll pass all this along then. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, boss.
What the actual heck? Do my eyes deceive me? Why in the world are you here at my wedding? You weren't even invited to my wedding. I don't care if I wasn't invited. You have got some serious nerve splashing wine in my face the moment you saw me. What is the matter with you, Amy? I just said you weren't invited to this wedding and you dare to show up? You're the only one in the wrong here. You're totally blowing this whole thing for me and ruining my special day. I am the wife of your brother. Of course I was going to be here at the wedding. What are you even talking about? You really have just taken things way too far this time. You really need to learn your lesson. Oh, I know more than I'll ever need to. Thank you very much. And I don't want my brother's disgusting cougar wife here to ruin my special day. Besides, you're probably just here because Randy is too old for you now. I bet you're just looking for an even younger man to jump ship, aren't you? You really are just sick. Are you serious? Of course I'm not doing anything like that. That is actually crazy to even suggest. The only crazy thing around here is you coming to my wedding to try and scope out your future husband, you creep. Are you really seriously thinking that that's what I'm doing here? I was literally just attending your wedding peacefully and you attacked me with your drink. I don't care if it is your special day. Nothing makes acting like that okay, ever. Says you, but I don't want or need you here, so that's why I had to teach you a lesson. And there's nothing you can ever do to me now that I'll be with my rich husband. So how about you finally just learn that none of us want you around, leave my brother, and never ever come back? It's really not that hard at all. Well, okay, I'm going to leave. But you can go ahead and tell your husband that he is fired from his new job. What in the world is that supposed to mean? What do you have to do with my new husband's job? I mean that he's fired. I know that he just got hired, but now he's fired. He doesn't have a job. So enjoy being married to someone without a job. I'm sure that'll make for a great honeymoon. Hold on a second, I still have no idea what you're talking about at all. You're not making any sense. Have you lost your mind or something? You sound crazy. You can say all that you want, but it's not going to change any of what I've said there, you know. In fact, I'm quite sure that if you tell your new husband what you've done, he's going to be quite upset about it. But I guess that really isn't any of my problem. You really are too much sometimes, you know that? You're nothing but a loser shut-in who barely ever leaves the house. Who do you think you are to say whether or not my new husband has a job or not? You really need to work on your lying because nobody is going to believe you if you try and pull this kind of stuff over and over again. I told you that I am not some shut-in. You know that I work from home, but I bet that you don't know that I'm also head of my company. You're the head of your company? Well, if you're some self-employed loser, then that basically means nothing. I'm trying to tell you the truth right now, but if you don't want to listen to it, then that is your problem. But you really should go ahead and tell your man that he is out of a job and tell him why. I think you'll see that I'm being honest about all of this. You're still just not making any sense at all. I mean, do you really expect me to fall for this? What is even the point of trying to lie when it literally isn't true? Hold on a second. He's actually coming over right now. Oh geez, his face is really, really red, and he looked angry. I wonder what he's so upset about. Wait a minute, you weren't actually telling the truth about all of this, were you? I tried to warn you over and over again, but you just refused to listen to me. But I was being honest with you this whole time. I've already told HR about my decision, and now he is in for a world of trouble. But then, you mean you're really going to fire him? How could you do that? Well, I'm the owner of the company, so I say you're fired, and then the person no longer works for me. Of course, there's more to it than that, but as far as you're concerned, that's how it works. Don't worry, though. He's not being fired for what you've done here, though. I had already made the decision before coming here for all kinds of trouble he was making for my staff. Trouble for your staff? What is that supposed to mean? What kind of trouble? Do you have any proof of any of this at all? Yes, actually. I only made the decision after my staff gathered up all the evidence we would need to be able to fire him without compensation. So yes, we did our due diligence and are completely justified in this firing, if you must know. You're really serious, aren't you? This whole time I thought that you were just telling some stupid lie to try and get back at me, but it's really the truth. And it's not like we didn't give him plenty of chances and warning either, but he just kept on acting out in a way that was unacceptable. This decision wasn't easy either. There's a lot of money and time that go into onboarding a new hire, and now that's all been flushed down the drain. So then, you mean you even warned him to stop what he was doing, and he kept doing it, and that's why he's being fired? That's exactly right. I'm glad that the picture is starting to finally form in your head for you. But wait, I didn't even know that you were such a huge person. I didn't know that you ran a whole company. Why didn't you ever tell me who you really were? I suppose you should ask your man about that. After all, I think he knew exactly who I was. Maybe he wanted it to be a surprise for you. You saw that his boss was supposed to give a speech for him at the wedding, right? Just who did you think that actually was? But, this can't be happening. And to think that you finally thought you found someone so amazing that you could use their money to not have to work for the rest of your life. I'd say you sure know how to pick 'em, but given both of your behaviors, I'd say that you're actually the perfect match for each other. Well, you have to come back, please. I didn't mean to drive you off. Now everyone has noticed that you're gone and are asking where you are. Even my brother noticed that you're not here anymore. What am I supposed to tell him? Please, everyone is really, really mad at me. Oh, well, don't worry about that. You might have ruined your own wedding, but your husband was already going to be fired. Of course, I was going to announce this all through official channels or wait for him to tell you. But since you just had to throw your wine on my new dress, I figured that as the head of my company, I'd take the time to tell you myself like this. Please, I am so sorry. You can't do this. He has to have a job. That was supposed to be my ticket to an easy life. I'm sorry for everything. Oh, it is way too late for that. Besides, the process has already begun, and I have no intention of stopping it. But what am I supposed to say to everyone? They're all going to blame me. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I think you have bigger things to worry about. In fact, I can't tell you much, but what I can say is that one reason your husband is being fired is because of his rampant sexual harassment across the office. You mean that he was trying to flirt with other women while being engaged to me? I wouldn't really call catcalls and gross comments flirting, but if that's what you're taking away from this, then sure. This can't be happening. We just got married. My life was supposed to be perfect from this day forward. Well, that's about all I have to say on the matter. You can go ahead and tell your brother that I've gone home ahead of him if he asks. Anyway, it sounds to me like you and your new husband have a lot to talk about. After that, I heard that the whole wedding party turned against Amy. Even her own family exploded at her, demanding to know what she was thinking doing what she did to me. Meanwhile, her husband's firing was processed and we were able to let him go. It turns out that his leaking of company and personal information was enough to merit a lawsuit as well. So instead of marrying a rich man, Amy ended up with a jobless husband neck-deep in legal debts. She demanded a divorce from him for his flirting with other women, and so I think the wedding will be very short-lived. Amy begged her parents to let her live with them, but they refused. So Amy, who thought she was never going to work another day in her life, ended up having to work several jobs to afford a tiny apartment where she lives all by herself. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.